Hi, today I want to talk about the Pygmalion Effect. If you haven't heard of Pygmalion, please look it up on Google and you'll learn all about it. So there's this thing called the Pygmalion Effect, which says that great expectations are met with greatness. So when you expect greatness in someone and you express that, it's more likely to happen. And when the opposite, when you expect poorness or not doing stuff well in someone, that's what's going to happen as well. So my thought for you today is a couple of things. So the first one is verbal cheerleading. How can your team members verbally cheerlead for other team members? Now what I mean is, let's assume you have a receptionist in your practice, and in your practice or your business or whatever industry you're in. This is totally cross-contextual, and let's assume it's a situation in which they're meeting a doctor, whether it's a physio or a dentist or a doctor or a veterinary doctor or whatever, and the receptionist welcomes a client in and says, "Hey, Mrs. Smith, you're so lucky today. You're getting to see Dr. Gottlieb, and he is fantastic because he loves whatever." And it may be back problems if it's a chiro or a physio. It may be Maltese if Mrs. Smith's got a Maltese and he's seeing the Maltese. Whatever it happens to be. So find a way to verbally cheerlead other team members. Let's assume that I'm a veterinarian, which as you know I am, and let's assume that I'm admitting a patient, Bruno the Maltese. I'm admitting Bruno because he's sick, and I've got Rebecca here, that's my nurse, and I'm saying, "Mrs. Smith, we're going to admit Bruno. I'm putting him in the care of Rebecca. She is my best nurse. She is awesome. She will look after Bruno fantastically well. He is in the best hands possible." How do you think Mrs. Smith's going to feel versus if I'd said, "Mrs. Smith, we're going to admit Bruno, and here's Rebecca. She's going to be looking after him today." Different scenario, isn't it? Mrs. Smith's expectations are going to be totally different. So that's what's called the Pygmalion Effect. And there's two sides to this. When Rebecca hears me talking about her and she's the best nurse and we're going to take awesome care of Bruno, don't you think that's going to light her flame and make her feel wonderful? So that's one effect of the Pygmalion Effect. The other effect is, Mrs. Smith, how do you think she's going to think about Rebecca? Really, really, really important that you verbally cheerlead and use the Pygmalion Effect as much as you can, both in your team, whatever that happens to be. You know, set your team members up for success. May I suggest that you become someone that finds the greatness in everyone. Now, I know that's hard to do, or it could be hard to do, but I know it's going to be easy to do for you. You can look into everyone and find their area of greatness and compliment them in front of others, if that's appropriate, in front of team members, in front of clients, whatever. Make them feel good. They will feel better and function better and do better. And whoever else is around is going to look at you and say, "Wow, isn't he a great, boss if you're the boss, or team member if you're a team member." And if there's clients there as well, they're going to get so much more out of this as well. The opposite of the Pygmalion Effect is called the Golem Effect, G-O-L-E-M, the Golem Effect. And as you can imagine, it's exactly the opposite. Find what they're doing wrong and talk to them about it, and they will do it worse. So I'm not going to talk about the Golem Effect because I don't want you knowing about it. I want you concentrating on the Pygmalion Effect and how to get that really, really, really working well in your workplace. So your assignment, your task, your challenge, should you decide to accept it, and I know you are going to accept it, is to find the goodness, to find the greatness in everyone, and mention that to them, to help motivate them and bring the best out of them, and also to light up the lives of other team members and clients. See you on the next video.